Hello everyone and welcome. So in this webinar session, we are going to talk about the Master in Hospitality, Entrepreneurship and Innovation. Before I introduce the panel, which is live with us, I would like to set a few rules, so it's going to be a good experience for you. So first of all, you might notice that you won't be able to use your microphone or your camera. The best way to ask your question is the question box at the top of your screen. We are going to start with between 30 to 40-minute presentation, and we will answer all of your questions at the end during the Q&A. So you can ask your question at any point, but don't worry if we don't answer just yet. We will wait until the end of the presentation for two reasons. First, your question might be answered in the next slide, and then so we don't disturb the flow of the presentation. So today with us, we have the program director, Sophie. Hello, Sophie. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here today with you all.
We also have Astrid with us, a career and internship manager. She will take care of the second part of the presentation. Hello, Astrid.
Hello, thank you for letting me attend this event. I look forward to speaking with you.
Carine, Associate Dean of Master's Program, is also on the line to support us with any question you might have. Hello, Carine, how are you?
Hello, Laurie. Hello, everyone. Very happy to be here with you and ready to answer any question you may have.
And finally, Raya. Raya is our alumni. She graduated last July. Am I right, Raya? You are muted, Raya.
Yeah, I'm excited to share my experience with you all.
Great. Okay, so without any further delay, I will hand over to Sophie to give you a brief introduction to the program.
Thank you very much, Laurie. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Really pleased to have you here to talk about this program, this MSc in Entrepreneurship Innovation in Hospitality. And it's such a unique program, so I'm really happy to share what I think are some of the benefits with you. You know, I recently joined Glion, so I have been impressed about how different this program is. There's a combination of academic and interactive and very immersive learning experiences from the teaching side. So there's a really innovative way of delivering the program as well as the content. The program design is really interactive and experiential. The class sizes are very small, so you have a very personalized approach. You get a lot of attention from your faculty members and also from guest lecturers who are consulting in the industry, who are very connected to what's happening in hospitality and to the real world experience. So there's also a strong focus on the application of your learning to the real world through field trips to various innovation ecosystem contexts. There is also an internship and a business research project. So, you know, what's really unique about this program is that combination of academic rigor and hands-on applied experience and exposure to the industry. So I hope that that highlights some of the key benefits of this program, what makes it unique. We'll go into the exact content after and the design, but I just wanted to say that up front about what it really brings you. Next slide, please, Laurie. So the MSc in Hospitality, Entrepreneurship, Innovation takes place on both our Glion campus and our Bulle campus. And I think Ray is going to give you a little bit of insight as to those campuses after, but let me just maybe highlight a few of the key elements of the program, how it's designed. It's, as it says here, it's designed for current entrepreneurs, but also people who want to start their own businesses and people who already are working in family businesses. It's really for people who want to learn how to lead a business, and that means understanding the business in its entirety, understanding how technology can, the potential and opportunity that technology brings in terms of data, but new technologies, blockchain, digital, various, cryptocurrencies, all of these new technologies. What is, AI? What are all these bringing to hospitality that can unlock some innovation within, to create new business models, as well as new business models per se. So not just technology, but how to develop new business models and leverage innovation. It also develops a strong business, your ability to really run a business. So it's the operational aspect, but also the leadership aspect. You'll be networking and learning from industry leaders. And also the program really gives you your own space to develop your own business idea. So supports you in developing your idea if you have an idea already in mind that you really want to work on. And the thing we really believe strongly in is leveraging that Glion network to bring you into contact with some of the industry leaders and innovative thinkers, because there a lot of innovation is happening through the Glion network alumni, but also lecturers and other connections that we have in the industry. The next slide, please, Laurie.
Sorry, before I move to the next slide, I was frozen. Perhaps Raya, you can tell us a bit more about the campuses you've experienced both, because you've also done a bachelor with us, so you've done Bulle and Glion. Can you give us a bit of an overview of both campuses, what the differences are, and everything, really?
Yes, sure. So the Glion campus is much smaller than the Bulle campus. So I feel like being there gives you a chance to really connect with your classmates and your professors. Whereas when you move to the Bulle campus, there's 3 times or 4 times as many students. And this is the part where you're going to need to expand your network and get to know everyone. And this is where you'll start to understand that the people you meet here are the people that you're going to have to stay in touch with for life. So I feel like this is something you can do in Bulle, especially that the age group ranges from 18 to, let's say, 30, whereas in Glion it will be more concentrated on your age group. So I feel like both of them are a great opportunity to network. And Bulle is in a different part of Switzerland, so I feel like you also get to know a real Swiss town, whereas in Glion it's more international. And I think the mix of both is what shaped my whole experience.
Thank you, Raya. One thing to mention as well is, depending on when you start, so there are 2 intakes per year. You might not start in Bulle or in Glion. It really depends on when you start. So you might start with Glion or you might start with Bulle.
Yeah, so if I may, Laurie here to give further information. So the fall semester, the semester that starts in September, always takes place on the Bulle campus. And the semester that starts in the spring period, so March, starts in Glion.
Thank you, Carine. So moving on to the structure of the program.
Good. So the program, as you can see, is 1.5 years long. It has 2 academic semesters, which were just described, that Carine referred to. There is an optional 4-week hospitality immersion program for career switchers up front, which is a really great opportunity for people who are not from the industry who haven't studied hospitality to really get an exposure to the practical arts, to give you a really solid foundation in hospitality if you don't already have that. Then we have 3 semesters, semester 1 and semester 2, both of which are academic, made up by teaching by both, professors at Glion, but also visiting lecturers. And that could be in Glion or Bulle, depending on which intake you're in. And then there is a 3rd semester, which is a choice of either an internship, a 6-month internship, or a business research project. And the internship can be a conventional one within a company, or it can be within your own business, or it can be within your family business. So, it's that there's a choice there depending on what your motivation is for undertaking this program. We can, it's an opportunity to really explore and apply that. So semester 1 is focused, we can go into more into the detail of the actual program details. Semester 1 is really focused on, we start out with the hospitality industry. So what are the dynamics at play? What is the complexity of the industry? What are the current trends? what are some of the disruptive models that are currently at play in the industry. Then we move into, there's also a leadership module, which is very important, about how you can inspire and motivate your team and work with others in your team to leverage their inputs in order to really be effective. That's about the softer skills as well, communication, collaboration. There's also within that a lot of focus on hospitality operations, F&B management, and value delivery. So really just going over the industry, the different segments, the different aspects, the different parts of the service that are relevant here. Then we move into more around what does innovation and entrepreneurship mean within this context, and what does it mean to take an idea from conception stage to business model. So there's a lot around not just having an idea. So what do you do once you have a good idea? How do you scope it? How do you know it's a good idea? How do you know there's a market for it? What's the business model? How are you going to make money out of this idea? What's unique about it as well? And is it something that other people aren't doing yet, etc. So it's really about understanding how to scope and look at the revenue streams for your business, but also how you're going to play, what decisions you're going to make about what markets you want to play in, what markets you don't want to play in, and how to protect your brand and your business. So, that's about IP, about, how do you go about actually protecting the IP of your brand. So that's really the first semester is kind of like high level, the industry and also the business. Then we finish semester one with a field trip to European city, and that's really about immersing yourself in the innovation ecosystem. So, who are the players in an innovation ecosystem? We try to understand and visit different companies, how they interact together, how they create value in the larger ecosystem. So it's really about how do ideas become reality, and what are the different roles that different players play in that ecosystem. So in the past, and we can talk more about that a little bit later, and I think maybe Rhea might want to help us with that. So, but basically, it's really about understanding how an ecosystem, the dynamics at play. And then semester two is more about execution. So this is about, how do you take that business that you've now scoped and make it, really, how do you scale it? How do you understand about marketing and distribution? How do you understand about how to leverage big data in hospitality? What do you, how do you get closer to your customer based on the information and insights that you gather through big data? What kind of technologies might be relevant and useful and help you differentiate or disrupt the actual segment you want to work in? So it's it's using all of those insights that you'll gain and exposure to different technologies and insights to be able to really scale your business. Then we have a module on we have a segment on financial life cycle and funding. This is really about how do you raise the money, okay? How do you raise the money to finance your business, but also if you do manage to grow a successful business, what kinds of decisions do you want to make about how you grow? Do you want to grow organically, or do you want to look at acquiring different businesses? What would be relevant, in that decision making? We look at family and small businesses as well. Sustainability is becoming increasingly important for hospitality. What does that mean? What kinds of opportunities are there to disrupt? That was a big theme recently in our Amsterdam field trip as well. What does it mean to have a business model that uses sustainability as its fundamental proposition? And then we also look at the project life cycle. When you launch a new business, what does that look like? What is the whole life cycle, and how do you navigate through the different stages successfully? And then this semester two culminates with the Innovation Fair. Innovation Fair is about where you take all this learning that you've gained from your teaching experience in the classroom, but also the application, the way you've been applying it in different the field trips, but also in your group work and other hands-on application. How do you take that now and use it in the context of a real event, and that is the Innovation Fair, which students have a responsibility to organize and participate in co-creating. Of course, we provide the guidance to help you do that successfully, but it's essentially about, you know, it's almost like a little mini business you're setting up in a way, I mean, without obviously some of the real world context, but it's really an opportunity to apply that. How do you work together? How do you take an idea from beginning to end? How do you execute it? How do you collaborate and communicate with your teammates to really make it happen? And then semester 3, of course, we have the, as I spoke about before, the 6-month internship or business research project, which is kind of like a mini thesis. So those are different opportunities to pursue in semester 3. And I think Astrid is going to speak more about the internship later. So I'll let her do that. So I think I've covered it all here. Is there anything that, oh yes, this is all about the Innovation Fair and the business, the field trip I mentioned before. So perhaps, you know, I discussed a little bit about what the Innovation Fair is. Maybe Rhea, would you like to share your experience about how that worked for you in your context?
Yes, sure. So we had classes and we had assignments to do, but I feel like we didn't really understand. We did understand, but we didn't really connect the dots until we went on the field trip, because we went to some of the companies that we know about and that are always in the media and everywhere, but you don't really see the hard work that goes behind and the dynamic. So going to that company really gave us a sense. For example, we think that Ferrari is a car maker, but that's not at all how Ferrari view themselves. Like, they see themselves as a marketing company because everything they do is marketing. And the red on its own, they have 550 shades of red or something like that. And this is something you never know as a consumer. So going there really made us see businesses from a different point of view, and how the way that they play with your psychology and with your mind, because then they don't follow a linear thinking model. They're disruptive. They do things that other car companies are not doing. So this was really important for us to see it firsthand. And the biggest takeaway was that your marketing is everything. So it's not really about the augmented product, but it's about the non-tangible product, about how you play with the consumer's mind. So most people who buy a Ferrari don't actually know the reason they're buying a Ferrari, but because the marketing is so powerful and innovative, the consumer wants to be a part of your brand. So this is something we saw when we went there. And another cool, another company that stood out to me was the domain El Boro. It's a vineyard. It's basically advertised as a vineyard, but it's actually a family-run, let's say, land and hotel. But what they do is much more than that. It's a brand. It's for the Ferragamo family. And once you go there, they show you a movie about how the brand came to be, and they engage you in a story, and that's innovation. So if I hadn't seen that movie, I wouldn't see it as a brand as cool as I did after I saw the story, after they involved me in the process. So this is something that we learned during this program, is how to involve your consumer in the process. And that was my takeaway from the field trip.
Very nice, thank you, Rhea. Yes, I think that's a really core theme in the program, is really how do you get closer to your customer? How do you gain the insights that you need to be able to not only respond to their needs, but also anticipate what might be coming in this, you know, rapidly changing market, and how to be able to develop something relevant. So I think that's really it's a really interesting example. Thank you.
Raya, quick question. Have you had the opportunity to attend the Innovation Fair, so the other part of the program?
Yes, we split into 2 groups, and our project was to innovate 2 of the F&B outlets on campus. So my group was to innovate Bellevue and to bring something new to it. And we realized that it's a great space that has a lot of potential. So we decided to introduce a new theme for Friday nights. And we put that into place, and we were, I don't want to use the word forced, but we had no choice but to work with each other. So we all had to find each other's strengths and allocate tasks. So we really had to do that, because there's some things I can do that you can't, and vice versa. So that was the main takeaway, is that every person you work with or come across can do something that you can't do. So I think this is one of the major themes of the innovation fair, is to give other people a chance and to trust in the people you're working with, and the outcome was great.
That's really interesting and a great example, Rhea. I think that's exactly right. It's such a rich, class and cohort, in the sense that you all come with very different experiences, backgrounds, cultures, and of course personalities, because we're all different. So I think being able to leverage that is a really powerful thing when you can actually work together to deliver a great output. So and I heard great things about that innovation fair. So nice, thank you for that example. Good. So I think, is there anything else to mention? No, here. This is, we wanted to highlight also that our visiting lecturers are, they come from industry and are really working with, working on some really interesting and innovative types of projects. Many of them are consultants working with some of the big hotel chains like Accor, like Stanislav Halu, who's the head of supply for Europe at One Fine Stay. Olivia Lamarche Brunis-Holtz also is a startup program leader and investor. I think, Rhea, did you want to mention anything about your experience with her as well?
Yes, first of all, I felt like she was a great fit because she was an alumni, so she knew what we wanted to hear and what we wanted to learn. And she works with investors so she taught us how to do a pitch deck. It's basically what you need to get money from investors, and it's something I never knew before. I thought it was much easier than that, but apparently you have to differentiate yourself. And she gave us a list of contacts that she will provide you with, whoever is watching us and joins the program. And she explained to us how every investor looks to invest in different fields and exactly how to sell your product. And the best thing was that she gave us their contacts, so their emails and their numbers, so we can pitch to them one day if we have a business idea. I also really enjoyed Jean-Pierre Bernard's class because he works with KPMG, which is the biggest auditing firm, the best auditing firm in the world. And he brought a guest speaker from KPMG to speak to us. So this was really a great pleasure, and it's not every day that you get to speak to someone from KPMG.
If I may, Laurie, add also on this specific slide. So what is very important, I think, for our audience to understand is that when you enter the Hospitality, Entrepreneurship and Innovation program, of course, you enter an academic environment because we are a school and we are going to teach you a lot of concepts and things about hospitality, entrepreneurship and innovation. But for us, it's extremely important to work with experts from the field and not only with academic background, people who have an academic background. Because as you will understand, this is a specific field where, innovation, entrepreneurship, things move very quickly, very fast, and we only want to work with people who are really on the top of their expertise. And hence why it's very interesting to work with visiting lecturers on a regular basis. These people come over 1 or 2 weeks. They deliver their expertise in a block delivery format. And it's also a good chance for all of you to enhance your network, because these people are highly connected to their area of expertise and the other experts in their specific fields. So it's also each one of them open doors and opportunities for you to network with other experts, which is very interesting.
Especially after the pandemic, because all our visiting lecturers came from companies that really had to pivot and really had to change their way of being and staying relevant in the market. So this program is the best thing you can do for yourself after the pandemic, because it really shows you how to stay relevant, because everything that was done before is irrelevant. It's a new world, and I cannot stress that enough.
Exactly. Really well, very well put. Exactly right. The pandemic has changed hospitality. I mean, bookings have been down 90% in many hotels. And so there's been many examples of great innovation, and our experts really bring those examples from real life and allow you to not only understand what they've done, but as Carine said, to open, and as Rhea said also, to really open the doors to making connections in the industry. So it's really a great opportunity to have, very intensive and small class sizes and interactions with these people. It's a great opportunity.
Thank you, Sophie. Thank you, Raya. Thank you, Carine. It's now time to hand over to Astrid for career and internship.
Thank you very much, Laurie. Hi, everyone. So yes, I have the great pleasure to introduce you a little bit to how we work with you once you join the program in terms of preparing you for the brave new world, as Raya put it, that we're now in. So we're really here to guide you from day one. So we are a dedicated team that are present on all campus locations. So we, depending on where you are located, whether it's Bulle or Glion, we will make sure that we're there. So there's a dedicated team member who takes care of all the master students. I would be actually in this case myself, and follow through straight through the day you start until you've finished your third semester. We support and guide on all matters from CV to general counseling to motivation letters. What should you be doing best in your situation? So it's very much a personalized service that we give. We're looking at your individual circumstances, your profile, your wishes, and we work with you towards how you can best reach your goals, be it short-term or long-term, depending on your situation. We have recruitment visits. So obviously in the current situation, they are very much still in an online environment, but we have more than 250 companies presenting, recruiting, visiting per year. We also have we're going to go into more on that later, so I'll leave that for the moment. We have also a career and internship portal, which is the tool that we provide you with as a, let's say, safe environment to connect with employers and offers. I'm going to show you a little bit more about that as well on the next slide. And if we look globally, we have quite a high number. We're reaching that number again now with about 7.7 offers, internship offers per student. So you can imagine this is worldwide throughout all the programs, including our bachelor programs. So it's quite a good number. So we do have a very, very large network. So Laura, if you don't mind moving to the next slide, I can tell you a little bit more about our career and internship portal. So this is, as I said, the tool that we provide you with, where all of our contacts, when it comes to career, internship, networking, and so on, that we have, they live on this portal. And every single one of them has been checked by us before they are made available to you. All the vacancies that we know of, that we have, that get, and the company approaches us and says, hey, we have an opening on this, they are being put onto this portal. So it's really a good environment for you both to network and build your network, in addition to the guest lecturers and the great network that you already gained through your academic studies. So this is an additional network. But also then once you hit that, to apply for vacancies, whether it be internships or jobs, maybe you want to join a corporate training. We have all of this directly on our portal. And as Sophie was saying earlier, it really depends on your profile and what you're looking for, what you will be doing in your semester 3. So this is part of the process that we help you with, whether you want to go for an internship, whether you want to look at working in your family business. Maybe you came here to help the family business out, get that academia behind you, and now you want to go back and help. Maybe you have loads of work experience and you want a certain level of job. We're looking at what would be the best approach for you there. So we work very closely with you. But the network that we have here on this portal is valuable to you no matter which area you're in. Same as any network, you never know when it's going to be useful for you. There is also a mobile application, so a lot of it you can access directly through your mobile. We know we always have our mobiles with us wherever we go, so you can just check the latest offers that come in. You can check your contacts, you can pick up the contact and send them an email. So it's really, really accessible. Next slide, please.
Perhaps you can ask Raya her experience with the platform.
Absolutely, Raya.
So basically, this platform is like a magic door that opens so many opportunities for you. But of course, you also need to be willing to reach out and to write professional emails and to differentiate yourself. The internship department can only do so much, but you also have to be willing to present yourself in a professional way and to make the best out of the contacts. And I would recommend starting early. So you have all the contacts and you have all the emails. So I think the day you're in Glion, you finish your meeting with Astrid, and then you can start applying and deciding what you want to do. And it's like I said, it's a magic gate. You can literally see a list of employers and their contact information.
Yeah, and this is something that not all of you realize, and suddenly you realize, oh, look, we have a bunch of contacts as well. It's not just vacancies. So this is what is so important for us. We really work with you, as you know, right, from day one when you join semester one. So the journey doesn't start with the Carine Internship Office in your last semester. It starts the day you start with the study program. So that is really important for us, that we work closely with you, because it goes fast. It's just 2 semesters on campus, and it disappears very, very fast. So we're here, we're approachable, and you can come and see us anytime throughout your semesters, and once you leave campus, obviously, as well.
Yeah, and also on the note of internships, I wanted to say that between my 2 master's semesters, I reached out to one of our guest visiting lecturers, and I told him I would like to work with you in my holidays because I don't want to just hang out. My mind is already too stimulated from the program and I don't want to put it to sleep. And he told me, sure. And I worked with him for 2 months as an intern in Vevey. So, and he Dr. Frederick Mooley, he's a consultant, and it was amazing because I was proactive. So you also need to be proactive.
Excellent. So the big event that we set up and we have every semester is what we call the Glion Connect and Recruit. As I mentioned just before, currently we are still living in an online environment because it's still very restrictive. We actually have the event coming up next week on Tuesday, so we're just in the middle of the last preparations. And this is the opportunity for all of our students to meet virtually or in person, depending on what the situation is, with all the leading companies from so many various industries. We're talking hospitality, we're talking luxury, recruitment agencies, restaurants, innovative companies. It's really a huge opportunity to have the possibility of directly discussing with these representatives. So Raya, you've had the experience of 2 of these so far. How about you tell us a little bit what your thoughts are and what you think are the benefits?
I think that it had to be online for certain reasons, but I actually think that for me it worked very well and maybe even better, because while you don't have to just wait in line and do nothing, while you're waiting for an agent or an HR associate to free up, you can speak to someone else. Whereas in real life, you can't be in 2 places at once, but online you can. So I feel like this was definitely an opportunity to speak to everyone instead of physically waiting in lines. And I think it was great. And most of my friends and myself found our internships during that fair. And it's not just about what happens during the fair, it's about how you stay in touch with the contact that is given to you during. And I think it's very, very, very important and very nice.
Ryan, would you say that you picked up contacts from those fairs where you're still networking with them?
Yes, for sure, I did with Richemont. And me and many of my friends are still in contact with the companies. And even if it's not for your internship, you're going to have to find a job one day and you need those contacts.
Excellent. And that's exactly it. It's a connect and recruit. It's not just there for the vacancies and the openings. As you say, it's the connection for the future, and it's such a valuable network that we have there. So we're very excited about the upcoming event, and we're hoping that all the students will be equally happy as Raya is, and we are full. So it's going to be a very busy event. So hopefully some of you that are maybe attending now, listening, will be joining us for the next events. Thank you, Laurie.
So, if you're interested in applying to this program after hearing all of the amazing benefits that and unique attributes and the network, here are some of the requirements that you would need to fulfill in order to apply. The minimum age is 21. You need to have a bachelor level undergraduate degree in a relevant field, as well as an appropriate or an adequate level of English, which requires either 2 years in school where English is the primary language of instruction, either a TOEFL or IELTS score of 6 or TOEFL of the requirements are listed there, you can see, or a first advanced exam grade of C. And so just make sure, if you're interested in applying, we can, of course, you would just need to contact the admissions office to do so.
Thank you, Sophie. Thank you, Astrid. It was really great to hear from all of you. Before we move on to the Q&A, just one little thing from me. We don't have a counselor on the line with us today among the guest speakers. So because the application process, and sometimes you have the visa application that goes with it, is very personalized. If you have any particular question related to your personal situation, I would encourage you to go directly onto the website, fill a contact form, or if you're ready, just fill an application form, and a counselor will be in touch with you. And we'll deal with, we'll support you step by step. Unfortunately, today we can't give you answer to questions related to the application process, because as I just said, it's really related to your personal situation. So it's time for you to ask your question. You can ask questions to anyone on the panel today. So it can be for Sophie, Carine, Astrid, if you have more questions about career, or Raya. She has such a great feedback, so she can answer your question as well. Okay, first question coming. It might be for Astrid and Sophie. Carine, you can feel free to jump in. So what the career opportunities are after this program? Is it just launching your own business, or is there something else?
It's certainly not just launching your own business. It's so much more than that. It really depends on what you're looking for and what your desire is to have as an outcome of this program. So we have students who come in and are career switchers, and they want to start with an internship in a startup or an innovative business. We have others that come in and they have a certain level of experience and they want to go into a corporate training or a direct entry level position. Others come in for the express purpose of starting their own business. But again, this is completely up to your personal situation. So it's not just about starting their own business, although it is an entrepreneurship innovation program, obviously. But no, the options are all there. We're not limiting the students, anyone in terms of you have to do a 6-month internship with this type of contract, or you have to start your own business. This is individual counseling with the student. What is it that you are looking for, depending.
Thank you, Astrid. Do you need to have experience in the hospitality industry before joining the program?
No, you don't need to have hospitality experience necessarily. And that's, we have innovation comes from all walks of life, and we all learn from each other. And one of the big themes, I think, of the program is, we're talking about innovation in hospitality, however, and entrepreneurship. However, we learn from many different industries and businesses. So the diversity is something that really is great in the program, and we all learn from each other. And that's why we have the hospitality immersion program up front for those of you who don't have hospitality, in order to really give you that that solid foundation in the practical arts, so that you don't so you have the necessary kind of basis to work from, but it's not a requirement.
Thank you, Sophie. Question for Raya. So aside from the program, what are the other activities that students can take part in on campus? So extracurricular activities.
Okay, so there's so many, and I'm going to talk about my personal experience. There are 12 committees, and there's one leadership program by the school. It's called the Ambassador Program, and I was part of it throughout my whole time at Glion. And you're basically part of a leadership program that represents Glion to the public. So you will be hosting open days, and you will also be offered a number of free courses that you can take as part of being an ambassador to strengthen your interpersonal skills. So if you feel like you're a leader or want to get one step closer to being a leader, this is the perfect program for you to build lifetime skills and to also increase visibility for yourself. You will also be posted on various social media channels for Glion, where employers will see you and will reach out to you. So I think this is a very great leadership opportunity. And we also have 12 committees. So arts committee, wine committee, entrepreneurship committee, networking committee. So the networking committee, for example, organize conferences with industry professionals such as the Chanel CEO and the Snickers and Mars Chocolate Factory CEO. So very big speakers. So there's always there's something you can do every day. That's not really a sport or an activity, but it's an extracurricular leadership program.
Thank you, Aya. We also have a student affairs department on campus. Aya, you can, you can confirm. They organize many different activities for all type of interest. It can be sport, it can be culture. You will also have the opportunity, if you want to visit different cities.
Yes.
Because one of the good thing about Switzerland is that it's really well connected to the rest of Europe. So you will have the opportunity to visit some of the main cities of Europe. So a lot of things to do if you want to be involved in student life. Question for Sophie. So it might be too early to answer that question, but I'll try anyway. Have you already planned the next field trip? Is it always at the same place with the same company, or do you get in touch with new company each semester? How does it work?
So if I may, Sophie, just interrupt, sorry. So no, what we do usually is we consult the students first. Where do they want to go? What kind of ecosystem do they want to see? And based on their input, we will organize a field trip in different cities. Of course, over the past 18 months with the COVID, we were quite restricted on the options that we could choose. But the last field trip took place in Amsterdam, which was really a desire from the students to go and visit this very highly innovative city. So we did that. And of course, we always take into consideration the field of interest of the students. So here it was very much linked to sports industry, health industry, food industry as well. So we go and visit the companies that really attract the students at first.
Thank you. Do you have anything to add, Sophie?
No, just that it's always in different cities. As Carine said, it's very much driven by the student interest, and both in terms of the ecosystem they're interested in, whether it's tech or sustainability or specific interest, also in terms of the geography. So it's very much based, and it's been different every time, as far as I know, like Paris, Berlin, Amsterdam, mostly Europe because of the pandemic for now, but hopefully that will change. Oops.
Thank you. One question for Raya, so you don't have to answer if you don't want to. Why did you choose this program, and what is your career goal?
I chose this program because, first of all, because this pandemic, everything that we once knew became irrelevant and we needed to innovate. And I also always knew what I want to do in the future, but I never knew how or where to start. And yes, you can have social and emotional intelligence, but you will always need that theoretical side. You need to know how to go step by step. For example, I never knew the importance of IP. I never knew that you have to protect your ideas. I thought I was so open about my ideas and sharing them, but during the program, I learned that you really have to be careful with your ideas and how you can protect them. And this is, for me, this was the biggest thing that surprised me, because I never knew that it can be such a major concern. and also how to apply for a patent. That was so cool to learn, and how to apply for a patent on an international level, on a local level, and all those, how to build a website from scratch. I never knew how to do that, and it could save you hundreds of thousands of dollars if you know how to do it yourself. So this is a very big thing.
Thank you, Raya. Next question. So does the student get any type of support during the internship or the research project they can choose?
Do you mean the choice between the two, or?
So they can choose between the two, but whatever the choice is, what type of support do they get?
So obviously we're here to give the individual counseling. Whether you say, if you choose the internship, we're there to, on our side, to guide you through what are the requirements to pass the practical side of the internship semester and everything. We do support with documents. We do support while you're on internship if there are any issues as well. Sometimes you just need someone to talk to. Sometimes things are going really bad. Sometimes they're amazing and you want to share it. So we're there to just talk through matters during the internship as well. If a student chooses the business research project, which is obviously the academic side of semester 3, we are naturally still there to support and counsel if they want help with how to do an application, or they're wanting to contact with employers and so on. So it's not like we cut our services or cut the support just because a certain student goes into a certain direction. We're always there to help out however we can, depending on what the situation is.
And if a student chooses to do a business research project during the semester 3, the student will be tutored by an academic faculty member who is an expert in the field chosen.
Thank you. I don't see any other question coming in. So just to close on a high note, I will ask Raya. So Raya, we have some potential students on the line. Some of them might have already applied and are looking forward to join the campus, and some of them might just be, hesitating. So what's your advice for those potential students online today? You're on mute, Raya.
I advise enrolling now. No, I strongly advise this program. It really changed my outlook on life. And I'm not just saying that, I actually mean it. It was one of the most remarkable years for me. I really transformed as a person, and actually today marks 1 year since I started, and I really, really came a long way, and I'm very proud of the transformation I went through and the stimulation that this program put through my mind. And I really want people to go through the same. It was very empowering, and I was supported all along. And I think that if you have an idea and don't know where to start, then this is the program for you. And it's not, and always remember that it's not just about hospitality, it's about so many other industries. So don't let that limit you. Out of my classmates, we have people working now in banks and fashion brands, in startups and in hotels, so it's not limited to hospitality at all.
Thank you so much, Raya. As a disclaimer, Raya has no perks. She's not getting paid for her testimony. It's completely genuine, and that's why she's been an ambassador the whole time. So thank you, everyone. It's now time to close this session. It's been great to hear from such a great panel. For you on the line, if you have any more questions, later today, this week, feel free to go onto the website. So the address is on your screen, www.glion.edu. You have different options. You can fill a contact form. You can start your application, and don't worry, someone will be in touch to take you through the different steps. You can find a lot of different information about the program, about the student life. Get in touch with student ambassadors like Raya and get their own advice and experience. So a lot of different options to get in touch, and obviously social media. Do follow us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. You will find a lot of information about the programs and the life on campus. Okay, I think that's enough information from me. So thank you so much to our panelists. Thank you to the audience, and see you soon on campus, hopefully. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.